Tuesday, Keith Summey will be sworn in for his 8th time as North Charleston's mayor. Today, I sit down exclusively with him ahead of his inauguration for the special edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and download my free Quintin's Close-Ups app in your Apple or Google Play stores. And listen to this interview Tuesday on iHeartRadio.
Mayor Keith Summey, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Always a pleasure, my friend.
Likewise, and Happy New Year to you.
Same to you.
Yes, sir. You are sitting here with me on the eve of, I was just told this, your 7th inauguration.
Yes, sir. Will be this Tuesday. I'll be sworn in for the 7th time. Actually, it's 8 because I filled an unexpired term the first time. And it's been unbelievably a wonderful experience representing the people of the city of North Charleston, and indeed outside of the city as well. You know, we're a city of probably 120,000 now, but on any given day, there's 250,000 people in North Charleston or driving through North Charleston. While they're in our area, they're people that we serve, and we look at them the same and try to provide the same level of service we do for people who live here while they're here in our area.
In our area. Your 8th inauguration. If you could look back to the past 8 inaugurations, which one of those inaugurations describes you personally?
Well, I think all of them. Nothing has changed much. My issue has always been about enhancing the quality of life for the people who live in the city of North Charleston, and about building an economy that supports helping have that quality of life. We have been very successful. We've had some failures, and those failures primarily relate, I think, to there being a division between local government, state government, and schools. I think local government should have more direct input into the schools in their city. Probably one of the things that has saddened me in my years is that we haven't properly prepared our kids for the jobs that came into the area. And that's why I think we've seen such an influx of new people moving in, when we should have recognized through the educational process what these jobs were that were coming in and start training our people for those jobs. I'm very excited about the new facility across from North Charleston High School, because that is going to be doing that. It's going to be looking at technical side and also from electronic side, the more sophisticated learning process for electronics and technology. But it's also going to be work on the skilled labor side, and that's something that we messed up. When I was in high school, we started, this goes back to the 60s, we started this thing, if you want to be successful, you've got to go to college. So I graduated from college and ended up going to work in a garage with my father-in-law's business, and ended up taking the business over. But the issue was we were creating a lot of leaders and no laborers. Nobody to actually do the physical labor, and at the end of the day, those skilled labor sets are what moves this country forward. And I'm glad to see that we're getting more of that available, and that the salary levels for those positions have enhanced and increased as well, so that we're creating a bright future for all of our citizens, and don't have to bring in as many people from the outside to accommodate the needs we have in the workforce.
You talk about obviously local government, state government, and of course schools. I know this might be a tough question, but if you were to be able to be involved with the Charleston County School District on a governmental basis, How would you go about that right now?
Well, I think one of the things that would have to happen, is the ability for kids to leave one area to go to a school in another. It becomes a selective process. Every one of our schools, we should be ascertaining to make every one of our schools a very good learning facility for our kids. And the enrollment in those schools dictates a lot of what you're able to offer. And if we've got our kids that are leaving the district to go to other districts to go to school, it's actually hurting the opportunity to offer advanced courses and more courses in our local schools. And I think the district is honestly trying to get a hold of that. And it's something that I think that we have to do. Our school system should be coordinated with the businesses and industries in the area, not unlike what Trident Tech is. If you see, when we had a shortage in our large school that were training chefs downtown, decided to go to North Carolina, Tech stepped in and they created a culinary science division. New building, everything. Then we had such a shortfall of nurses, it seems that is a growing field. Tech started a nursing school. And now with Boeing, we've got an aeronautics school that's out there. And I think that needs to transition down even into the high school level, in preparing people for the jobs that are here within our community so that they can be successful. You've got a number of kids that are going to leave an area after they go to college, may go out of state or what have you, and they don't come back. But we need to have jobs for our people that are getting the higher education, but we also need to have our jobs and create the ability to train our people for the technical jobs that are coming in the area as well.
From 1994 up until right now, 2020, how many jobs have you been able to bring into the city's mayor?
Oh gosh, I don't know, multi thousands of jobs that have come in. And I actually started that when I was on county council. We had created a 3-county coalition between the 3 county chairmen and started working together for the first time. Naval base closure was a wake-up call for us. When we looked at the population of the people who worked within the shipyard, civilian employees, the amounts from Berkeley, Charleston, and Dorchester counties pretty well represented the percentage of population of the Tri-County. 50% of the employees were out of Charleston County. About 30% were from Berkeley County and about 20% from Dorchester County. And that was about the makeup of the population of the Tri-County, same percentages. So we realized what the definite effect that it had on the entire population with that base closing. It affected all 3 counties economically. And that was sort of a wake-up call between the 3 leaders of the 3 counties to come together and start looking at it from a regional position. And if you look at the city of North Charleston, I'm in all 3 counties. And so it's important that we do that. And I think that was the initial tool that opened the box to bring in new business and industries, because we'd say, you bring your business here, you bring your industry here, and we will train people for those positions, for those jobs. The growth got so fast, so rapid, we were not able to train enough, and that's why you had the migration of people that had moved into the Tri-County area. There was a survey that came out this past week that basically said that the three of the 10 fastest growing municipalities in the country were Charleston, Mount Pleasant, and North Charleston. I think Charleston was number 3, Mount Pleasant about number 5, and North Charleston was number 9. That's the first time we've been in something like that. So I think it says that this is still an area that people are wanting to come to. I like that, except for the fact I still want to make sure that the kids that we see that are out on the street corner have an opportunity to be trained to take those jobs that are coming here.
I was just talking to you about obviously running from downtown to North Charleston,
Right.
Christmas Day and New Year's Day, and obviously I went down rivers to McMillan, and obviously the old naval base is right there, the naval hospital that is. Obviously that's been sold to Williams Cogswell with the Weckl Company, and obviously Charleston County is going to bring in their services for the community. Is there something in your plan, as far as a comprehensive plan, to make certain that still a grocery store can come in there?
We are begging, bribing, and pleading any way we can to get a grocery store. But getting them to look beyond the economics, let's face it, grocery stores are a for-profit operation. And we're looking for ways that we can incentivize a grocery store to come. We're currently working on a grocery store, and that's all I'm going to say about it, because I don't want another failure out in the street. But we are working with a potential grocery store, and we're looking at ways how we can work together with that grocery store to not only make them be there, but make them successful and it be feasible for them, us, and the community at the same time.
What are the economics on the south end of that city? Of the city, I should say.
The economics, they look at the national surveys, and the national surveys say that the median income level in that area is below the norm. My argument is a lot of those people, whether they're on vouchers or what have you, buy more groceries than my wife and I do. Because we're two folks that are living by ourselves now. All of our kids are gone, and we eat out a lot. It's just hard to buy food to cook for two people. And the folks that are living on a lower income level actually prepare more food at home. And that's why I think the argument is that those people that are having to travel outside of that area to buy would be buying groceries from you if you were here. But we're seeing grocery stores as a whole hurting. And it's because now, this world that we're in, nobody wants to go to the store. So you've either got, I can call Walmart today and put in my order for groceries, and they'll call me and tell me it's ready. I'll pull up, they come out and bring them into the car. I've already used my debit card to pay for them inside. Right. Or now you've got some grocery stores that are actually delivering the groceries.
That's right.
So it is, the change in the economic environment is making it more and more difficult to land grocery stores, especially in what they consider suppressed economic areas.
Any other suppressed economic areas in North Charleston that you're concerned about right now?
I think we're seeing included in that area some resurgence. I think if you go down Sproul Avenue, you see Sproul in between Charleston and North Charleston improving and being enhanced. I think you'll see that in the Rivers Avenue corridor with the development that is occurring there. With the development on the base, Cosgrove and Rivers is going to become another major intersection again. So I think that we're going to see growth in that area. What we've got to do is find a way to work to make sure that that growth does not gentrify the people that live there. And let's face a fact. The city of Charleston in the upper end of the city has been gentrified like crazy with all the development. All those new high-rises and all that you see there, that's moved people out of the area. And I told somebody, I said, you know, you've made this large development there now. You got this beautiful building. Well, we're not going to go any deeper into the neighborhood because I said, wait a minute now. You've taken somebody that's house was worth $75,000. Now somebody's gonna walk up and offer them $450,000 for that house. You don't think they're gonna be gentrified? They're gonna relocate. And so I think what happens, and this is the hard part, with the new creation of development, how do you stop that from filtrating on deeper into the community and doing a complete change? There needs to be some change. There needs to be an improvement of some of the housing in there, but not make it out of the price range for the people that live there. And we've got a lot of empty housing in some of those areas.
Sure.
So the opportunities are there, but you have to do it in a process that's slow enough that it's not absorbed. It's something that is an enhanced, and you will see some new come in, but benefit the folks that are already there as well.
Already there as well. And I want to go back to the Post Inquiry endorsement of you a couple of months ago, and it reads this. Mr. Summey admits that when he first took office in 1994, the city had prided itself on being developer-friendly. Wasn't very choosy about which businesses it wanted to in the city. Today, North Charleston can be more discerning, in part due to Mr. Summey's leadership. The city is now a manufacturing hub for the aerospace and automotive industries, and has long topped the state in retail sales. There are jobs available for the city residents as well as others in the broader region. Developer-friendly. How developer-friendly are you now versus 94?
Well, we're still developer-friendly, but we want you to let us know what you're bringing to the table for the community.
Okay.
When we lost the shipyard and we ended up with a joint number, Tri-County, of about 10,000 jobs lost, because not only was it the people working on the base of the supply companies that supply product to the base, we were just trying to replace jobs. Now we're a little more selective in what we do, making sure that the salary ranges that are coming in are above entry level, that are more mid-level and above, and that they're willing to help us train people for those jobs that are coming in. We're not begging people to come now. We're able to work with people and say, this is a great place for you to invest. We'll explain to you why that investment is great, but we also need to understand what you're planning on doing to enhance the quality of life for the people in our community.
When it comes to some of these, neighborhoods as far as housing and whatnot, what incentives are you looking for the developers?
Well, it's finding ways to refurbish and create some of the housing that is needed that doesn't put it out of the price line of affordability. And that's the big thing. Of course, today, what is affordable? I don't really have a handle on that yet. $150,000 house today at current interest rates are probably in the $800 to $900 price range monthly payments. Of course, you've got taxes and insurance that add to that. But you also have a tax deduction that comes at the end of the year on the interest and other expenses you have on the house. But it's meeting that monthly need of what someone can afford. And I think that the more we get the average income up, the more that it becomes affordable. And that's what we need to try to do. You do have some supplemental, I think the last time I checked with the Housing Authority, they are actually supporting up to $900 a month on rentals of some houses. I know it's based on the number of bedrooms and occupants, what have you, but we're working with them to try to ascertain what that norm is and then find how do we create more of that, and really trying to create more home ownership in the process as well. That's the ultimate goal. But if you're not careful, then you put someone in a position of home ownership that doesn't work. It's repossessed, and it goes on the market, and someone comes in and buys it, and it's no longer an affordable house. So it's a complicated world that we're in right now, and it's just taking heads coming together to try to make it work where it's working for everyone.
Is gentrification complicated here in the city?
I don't think we have the gentrification that a lot of other areas have. You know, we see some. If we aren't careful, it will happen. If we're not careful to make sure that we keep neighborhoods where people can afford to live in them as they are enhanced, as they improve. It's your core Cherokees, your Dorchester Wayland, your Dorchester Terrace,
Right.
those neighborhoods. That even Union Heights now, we've got some new housing starting to be built in Union Heights. How do we make sure that it stays affordable for those folks that are already there?
And I know in the Post and Courier endorsement of you, they said this quote, Mr. Summey intends to work with a builder experienced in affordable housing to construct new homes when land becomes available near the under construction port access road in the south end of the city. I know I asked you this a couple of months ago, but how many homes do you hope to bring to the south end now?
Well, in that area alone, we've got one gentleman that's fixing to build 20 houses. And that's not including the property that's going to be brought back in where the interest of I-26 went away. My goal is to tie those streets back up into the cross pattern they used to be before I-26 came that far down, and then create the ability to build some housing in there. We need to determine whether that needs to be a mix of senior housing and regular housing, or all senior or regular. We got to look at the market, see what is interested, but we have noticed in my lifetime that if you've got 5 houses on the street, somebody paints one. Well, then 6 months, somebody will paint another one. It's sort of a domino effect. But also, if you see one that goes down and nobody's maintaining, you see that negative effect that it can occur on the housing around it as well.
Now, how is that market looking right now on that south end of the city?
I think the market is looking better with we're seeing some improvement in the Reynolds Avenue corridor. We're working now to buy property to create off-street parking, make Reynolds a walking street. Reynolds was a much stronger retail street than Montague was when I was a young man in high school. And we want to try to bring activity back to that street with what's going on with Metanoia and the old elementary school that we're leasing to them. Creating an opportunity to train, create new job opportunities that enhances the opportunities for the people living in that area instead of bringing people from the outside in. And
I know obviously there are going to be nearly 100 lots on the former North Charleston Housing Authority property, which are being developed as workforce housing with prices starting around $200,000. And the city is working with a private developer who owns 40 lots in Union Heights. Why is workforce housing around $200,000?
The cost of construction. That is what it is today. I mean, getting a house that is built at a very minimal upgrades, you're still talking minimum construction costs, probably around $125 a square foot. That's because of the cost of materials and the cost of labor.
There you go. So
you can't negate that unless you have some form of supplemental coming in through a housing program that would help offset some of the payment costs. That's what you're going to run into. Sometimes it's cheaper to buy old and redo. And so we're looking at both ways. The housing authority that was their property, and they couldn't get it developed. You had people that they built a few homes for sale. Some of them were repossessed by the financing and then went out to the market for people that weren't qualified for housing. So it was falling back in their face. I think we have adequate housing in some of our areas that are strong housing that need some enhancements, some cleanup, some fix up, and create that environment where they are affordable and our people can afford to live in them and have a quality of life. in those neighborhoods. Dorchester Terrace and those areas are primary. There's too many houses, I think, in North Charleston, Chicora, and areas like that are unoccupied, that has great roots. How do we take it and make a tree out of it?
What are those payment costs for, typical housing?
The cost,
yes, sir.
Materials, is right now in the manufacturing industry is strong, and when they're strong, the prices are higher. If there's less demand, then the price goes down. And I think if we see a turn in construction going down, people get more competitive, and the suppliers get more competitive in their prices to the builder. The builder gets more competitive because he's trying to build houses that he can sell. So right now, the housing economy is very strong, and so that keeps prices high.
And let me get back over to the former naval base, because the Post Inquiry says this: Mr. Summey, who sees room for high-rise housing, that is, continues to work towards the redevelopment of the former naval base, where he says, quote, "We can finally have a downtown." Where is your comprehensive plan for this?
From Noisette Creek to the entrance on Virginia Avenue, and then tying that into the old village on Montague. We've never had a true downtown. The closest thing I think we'll ever get to a downtown is from 526 and Montague all the way through Park Circle and down around. We're seeing that with the convention center and the new hotels and things that are going on with Tanger and all the retail that is in that area. Then we have a true wonderful area called Liberty Hill, which we just built a new train station in. For Liberty Hill is the oldest free black community. And what do we do to enhance the living ability in that neighborhood, keeping folks living in that neighborhood? The small businesses that are there operating well, then carry it on down to the circle, and then pick up on the other side with Montague, but then tie it into the riverfront,
right?
Which we've never had an opportunity to do that. So, I think when base closure occurred, everybody said, "Oh my Lord, we're going to be destroyed." Well, we haven't been. We've come back, and we've come back strong. But this will be the last opportunity that the city has to create waterfront development. Unlike the city of Charleston, which we have water on both sides, it hasn't been developed for the city. And so this is an opportunity to create high-rise development, but the waterfront will always belong to the public.
Let me get back over to, obviously, your inauguration. I believe Jerome Hayward is going to be sworn in tomorrow as well. I know Todd Oles didn't get back in, and I know a couple other people have been, reelected, Virginia Jameson and other folks. How do you hope to work with this dude, North Charleston City Council, in your mind?
I've worked with anybody and everybody that's ever been elected to City Council in the years that I have been here, 25 years now. I'm one of these people that believe that if people treat each other with respect, we can accomplish a lot. And I take and open my council members to where they have direct contact with department heads and what have you for their districts. Any issues that they have, they know they can bring to me. I've known Mr. Hayward for a long time, and he and I have a good working relationship. The same I have with Mr. Oles, and I have with the other 9 members of council working together. I can't support them in everything they want, but those things that are realistic that we can work together on, I will work with them. Those things that I don't think will work, I will explain to them my viewpoint, not just say, well, we're not going to do that. That's not the way I work. I'm a team builder and been successful at it for 25 years. I don't foresee any change for the next 4.
I know someone you're really supporting is Reggie Burgess.
Reggie's a good man.
He's leaving.
If the Senate approves it.
Yes, sir.
Somebody asked me the other day, when are you going to start looking for a new chief? I said, when I get confirmation that Reggie is leaving. As long as he wants it, that's his job. And I hate to see Reggie leave. But I never hold any back anybody back from trying to advance themselves. And this would make Reggie the sort of the chief law enforcement officer of the state of South Carolina. That's quite an accomplishment from a guy that grew up in North Charleston.
Yes, indeed. How do you hope he will advance himself in Columbia?
Well, I think Reggie is one of these people that builds respect and trust. It's a different ball game in Columbia. While you're working for the governor, you're answering to the House and the Senate for appropriations and money to do your job. So it's a different ball game than he's accustomed to. But Reggie is very adjustable. He has a great personality. He loves what he does, and he cares about the people that he serves. And I think he'll be successful.
It's successful. And I know the Post Inquiry said that obviously the department is redeploying its officers and working on improving its relationship with a sometimes skeptical community. What's that relationship like now?
I think we're better than we have been. The Walter Scott episode put us back, but we've been working to rekindle those relationships, and we have relationships within the community. We still have an ample amount of crime in the community, and we have to combat that. We can't just ignore it and overlook it. But the answer to resolving it is the community's working with us, and we're seeing more and more of that.
Mayor Keith Summey, thank you so much for your time. And again, welcome back to Quintin's Close Up.
Thank you, my friend. Always a pleasure.
Likewise.
Thank you, my friend.
You're welcome.